Okay, so I wanted to review um, how to install the ATM files and review the settings for the brick size on the Renko bars. Okay, so I've got two files here in the email. The first one is the instructions. Okay, so if you click on the first one, it's just a Word document that opens up, and the first page just shows that for the NQ, YM, and RTY I use a 12.2. Okay, those are the settings that I use, is a 12.2. Okay, for the ES you want to use a 6.2. For gold and oil it's an 8.2. However, occasionally I have changed it to a 9 or 10.2, but pretty much so it's going to be like an 8.2. For the RB gasoline futures, I use a 17.2, but I do have a student who uses a 22.2, and he does very well with that on RBOB. Okay. Now down here I have the instructions. Okay, and the next file, there is a zip file that we're going to open up, and there's 8 individual files inside of that zip file. And basically there's 2 versions of each file. One goes into the ATM strategy folder, and the second one that's very similar to it goes into the stop strategy folder. Okay, so you notice here there's CL Renko 17. Down here there's CL Renko 17-S. S for stop. Okay, so you notice these 4 down here all have the same name as these up here, but they end in an S, denoting that they go into the stop strategy folder. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just come over here and click on the zip file. Okay, and you have to download this file. Okay, and if anything pops up about the Google Drive, just click continue, and we can click here and show in folder where it's at, and we can go ahead and we can do that, and it's right here in my downloads folder, so I'm going to double click that. Okay, and here are all the different files that I talked about, and we just want to go here where it says one click unzip. Okay, so we do a one click unzip, and there are all the files. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab all the ones that end in an S. Okay, dash S, you can see them. Okay, so here's the CL one, so I left click it. Here's the ES one, so I'm going to hold down the control key and left click the mouse, let the control key up, and you can see they're both highlighted. Go find the next one, NQ Renko 25-S. I'm going to hold down the control key, left click it, it's highlighted. And then RB Renko 36-S. I'm going to hold down the control key, left click it. Okay, so now I have all 4 of them that end in an S highlighted. So I'm going to hover over any of the highlighted ones. Okay, and I'm going to right click my mouse. I'm going to click cut. Okay, and then I'm going to bring over a new window that I already have navigated. Okay, and you just want to go to your NinjaTrader folder. Okay, you're going to go to, probably for you it's going to be C documents, NinjaTrader 8. Okay, and then you're used to me saying bin custom, but we're not going to go that far. We're going to go to templates. Okay, so we're going to go into NinjaTrader and we're going to click on templates this time. Okay, and inside of templates we're going to find there's a stop strategy folder and there's an ATM strategy. Okay, we're going to first go to the stop strategy, okay, because we just clicked all the S files. Okay, we're just going to right click anywhere in here and we're going to click paste. Okay, and that puts the 4 files in here for the stop strategy. Okay, so I'll move this out of the way, and that brings us back to our window of the remaining 4 files. Okay, so we're just going to highlight the first one, hover over the last one. We're gonna hold down the shift key this time and left mouse click. Okay, let the shift key up, and that's going to select all 4 files for us. Okay, and we're going to hover over anything that's selected. We're going to right click the mouse. We're going to click cut. Okay, and then we're going to bring over the other window that we navigated already, and we're going to go back to templates. Okay, and we're going to go to NinjaTrader 8 templates. Okay, except this time we're going to go to ATM strategy. Okay, so inside of ATM strategy, we're just going to click anywhere in here. We're going to right click the mouse, we're going to click paste, and we're going to put those 4 strategies right inside of here. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn my data on. So we have some data. And under ATM strategy,
sell signal 4.
I'm just going to grab NQ25, okay? And maybe you notice that I have the YM up and I have my NQ ATM strategy. I use my NQ for the NQ, the YM, and the Russell. Okay, they're all 12-2, they're all 26 tick, so it's all the same strategy for me. If you want to rename them YM or RTY, you can do that. We're going to go through the steps involved in doing that anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to break down to you how you can change this ATM strategy so you understand it, so you can change it for yourself. So first thing is, what if you only want to trade with 1 contract? Okay, you can see that it comes up with 3 contracts. Okay, so all you have to do is come here to remove, okay, and click remove. Alright, if you want to trade 2 contracts, you only have to click it once. Okay, now you're down to 2 contracts. If you want to you only want to use 1 contract, click remove again, and you're down to 1 contract. Okay, now we have to go up here though, and we have to change this. Okay, order quantity has to match target quantity. Okay, so this has to be 1. Alright, and not sure why I'm getting order quantity is 1, target is 1. I'm just going to try leaving that in there and see what happens. It's been a while. Maybe that's just the way the default is when it's just 1. Okay, so for right now, let me just click that and see how. Okay, let's go ahead and put a stop strategy in here. We're going to call this
YM trade alert.
Save template, and we're going to call this We're going to call this
YM Trade Alert.
We're going to call this RK for Renko Kings dash YM dash
YM
1
sell signal 4
target. Okay, and we're going to click save. Okay, and then we want to save the template. Save template. Okay, yeah, click save. It already exists. You want to replace it? Yes. Okay, click OK. Alright, and it shows up down here. Okay, so okay. Alright, so if there's any time that you want to edit it, okay, when you hover over this, or you just want to look at what you created, this is how you do it. You click the edit button, and it's the same over here to see your stop strategy. Okay, so let's go into the stop strategy for a second. Okay, what we have here, let me go back and review though for a second, okay, because I got off track with, thrown off by this quantity 1, is this value over here is where are we going to put our target, okay, where are we going to take profit, okay, and then this value over
YM Trade
here
Alert
is going to be where are we going to trail our stop at, okay. So if I'm only going to trade with one target,
YM Trade Alert,
I'm not going to take a 1-to-1, okay. You can't do that. Alright, you're going to have to, you have to put it in at a 2-to-1, okay.
YM Trade Alert.
So you're going to have to put it in at 52 ticks. And how do you know that it's 52 ticks? Well, you know that the candle is 24 ticks long. Okay?
YM Trade Alert.
And you're adding a tick, okay, it's 24 ticks long. You're adding a tick for the top, for the stop, and you're adding a tick for the bottom for the entry. So that's where we're getting 26 ticks. So when you place the trade, your stop is going to be automatically placed for you 26 ticks behind where your entry is. Okay, so that's what this number is. Alright, so if you want a bigger stop than 26 ticks, okay, you want an extra 3 ticks or something,
YM Trade Alert.
I want 29
YM
ticks. You could
sell
do that
signal
right
3.
here. Every time you placed a trade, it would be automatically 29 ticks. Okay, but your 2-to-1, if you're only trading one contract, it's got to be, you have to go for a 2-to-1. Okay, mathematically, you have to average. You have to average on your trades something greater than 2-to-1. Okay, so at a minimal, you have to put a 2-to-1 in here. Okay, so let's go and look at the stop strategy now. Okay, and talk about what these numbers in the stop strategy are. And this is really where you're going to get kind of confused. And I might add, Ninja has a lot of videos, and Ninja can help you. They already have videos on their website about all of this information, and they can help you with setting these up. Okay, and the reason this is going to get a little confusing is because there's more than one way to set this up. Okay, they have 3 different steps here. Okay, and they also have this step up here, which is actually kind of a 4th step. Okay, so you might say potato, I might say potato. So there's different ways of doing things. Okay, and it's really, there's so many different options in here. It's hard for me to go ahead and cover all of them at one time. Okay, but the way I was taught, and what
YM Trade Alert,
what this is saying in here is, by me putting this 999 in here, this tells me that this is a one-time action. Okay, because the market has to move 999
YM
ticks.
sell signal 3.
it has to move 999 ticks before anything happens again. Okay, so this whole row is a one-time action. So not until I get to 40 ticks of profit will I move my stop loss to 54 ticks back. Okay, so what does that mean? What that means is I'm taking half my risk off. Okay, you guys hear me talk about I take half my risk off. Okay, this is what it looks like when I program it in. Okay, it's a one-time action. I could have programmed it up here. Okay, this is a one-time action line up here. Okay, I could have put when I get to 40 ticks of profit, I could have put this to a minus. I'd have to figure it out, but it I don't know, it might be a minus 14. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and I'd have to calculate it. But the way this works is I'm at plus 40 ticks of profit, okay, and 40 and another 14 ticks behind it is 54 ticks, okay. So in this example, if I entered on this candle right here, okay, I would have entered right down here. My stop would have been up here. When I got to 40 ticks of profit, it moves my stop to just above the neck of this entry, okay, and that's a one-time process. And how I know that is because it says 999, okay. And then after I get to 52 ticks of profit, then it's going to trail
trade alert
every tick, okay, every tick. So if you don't want it to trail every tick, okay, it's going to come down and it's going to trail 52 ticks behind. Maybe you don't want it to trail 52 ticks behind. Okay, maybe you want it to trail. You can see that it's not until I get to 80 ticks of profit that I trail 30 ticks behind. Well, maybe 52 ticks is where I get my second target at. Okay, well, maybe once you get your second target, maybe you want it to trail right behind.
trade alert.
Maybe you want it to trail 27 ticks right behind your bar close indicator. Okay, so those are the options that you have there. Okay, so
trade alert.
So that is the stop strategy parameter. Okay, and until you actually open this up and start playing with it,
sell signal 3,
and you see what happens, trust me, you're not going to understand it. I could talk for hours and hours and hours, but until you actually put the numbers in here and start playing with it for yourself, you're never going to understand this until you actually put these numbers in here and you start playing with it. That's when you're going to understand it. Okay? I'm just giving you the basics. Okay? So so now when we open this up down here, instead of just having 4 different files
trade alert,
we now have a 5th one, okay, and that's the one that I created and renamed it. Okay, so if you're going to choose one, okay, maybe you're going to open up the ES and maybe you trade the ES. And you want to change
trade alert.
You want to change the ES. Maybe you want to change the ES to just 2 contracts. Okay. And you could, maybe you want 3 contracts. Maybe you want 4 contracts, and let's say you want 3 contracts, and you want to take 2 contracts off at 8 ticks and 1 contract off at 16 ticks. Okay, or maybe you want trade 4 contracts and you want to take 2 contracts off at 8 ticks and 2 contracts off at 16 ticks. Okay, it's very versatile to however you want to do it. But if you want to trade 2 contracts and 1 and 1, okay, again, remember this is take profit. I want to take 1 contract at 8 ticks and I want to take 1 contract at 16 ticks. And when I place my trade, this is where this is where my stop loss is going to be. Okay, so if this is a, what do we use on, I don't really trade the ES anymore. Let me just look. It's an 8, that's a 16, 17, 18. It's probably should be like 16. Should probably be like 16 ticks, I'm thinking. 6, 12, no, 14 ticks. Should be like 14 ticks, I'm thinking. Should probably be like a 14 tick stop, okay? And then you have to go in and you have to select your stop strategy, okay? And you can see here the stop strategy was set up a little bit different. This is a one-time stop strategy that that it is using the auto break even, okay? So when this gets to 28 ticks of profit, it's bringing the stop loss 15 ticks behind it, okay? And it's trailing it 1 tick automatically, all right? And it's just automatically going to trail it, okay? Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to trail it every 2 ticks or every 3 ticks, okay? Or every 5 ticks, okay? Meaning the market has to move 5 ticks before it trails down 1 tick, okay? So it gives you many features to customize it the way you want it to move, and give you the opportunity to allow the market to breathe a little and move a little, so you're not trailing too tight. You have to remember, if you trail too tight, you could get prematurely stopped out, okay? You have to give your trade the opportunity to profit. And you may also not even want to use the stop strategy. You might want to, that's another thing. You might not want to use the stop strategy at all. Maybe you just want to put your targets and your initial stop in place, and you manually manage the stop, okay? Where your stop stays where it's at, and then you bring your stop down from, if this was the initial entry that you got into, maybe you manually move your stop down to this point, and then you move it down to this point, and when it came up here, you would have gotten stopped right here, okay? Or maybe you just left your stop up here and expected a retracement all the way up here, and when it came up to here and then came up to here, then you moved your stop down to here, okay? And this is where your stop is right now, and you're just letting it go. You're trying to get as much profit as you can, okay? That's an option for you too. You don't have to use the stop strategy, okay? You could just use the first part where it puts in your targets automatically and it puts in your stops for you when you initially place the trade, okay? So that's an option for you as well. So look, I know that this is a very difficult topic. So what I suggest is, and I don't feel that I did a great job explaining this topic, okay? There's a lot of information, and I feel like there are 1,000 or more combinations that are possible here. If you get stuck with the stop strategy or the ATM strategy and you have questions, I think it would just be easier for you to send me an email, and we can do a Skype screen share session than me try and make a video that's 5 hours long and try and cover every possible combination that's out there, Okay, so I'm just trying to cover some basics and give you some ideas. But again, really, I feel like not until you actually jump in and start playing around with these numbers are you going to understand what those numbers mean and how they will affect your trades. Okay, so I hope that this video helped somewhat. And again, if you have questions, please just email me, and I'm always happy to help. Okay, thank you.